In a picturesque town, Laila and Noah were preparing for their wedding. Friends and family gathered to celebrate their love, but little did anyone know the night would end in tragedy. Laila had always been the perfect bride to be kind-hearted and enthusiastic. Noah, handsome and charming, had swept her off her feet. But as the night wore on, something shifted in the atmosphere. The celebration turned into an unpredictable storm. Laila and Noah exchanged vows under a beautiful archway adorned with flowers. The joy was palpable, and the couple basked in the love surrounding them. Yet, amid the laughter and clinking glasses, a dark seed of jealousy began to sprout in Noah's heart. As the guests danced and celebrated, Noah noticed Laila sharing a moment of laughter with an old friend, Adam. His heart sank with jealousy. Why is she smiling at him like that? He thought, anger brewing within him. As the night progressed, the couple shared their first dance, surrounded by friends and family. Laila's heart swelled with love for Noah, oblivious to the darkness creeping into his mind. But as Noah held her tightly, his smile masked a brewing storm of insecurity. Look at how happy she is, he thought. What if she decides she wants someone else? The thought consumed him, morphing into a palpable rage. In the midst of the celebration, Laila felt the love surrounding her. She couldn't wait to start her life with Noah. But Noah's thoughts spiraled deeper into jealousy. The laughter echoed, but to him it felt like a countdown to losing her. Just one more hour until we are alone, Noah thought, excitement tinged with desperation. But as he glanced around, every smile, every laugh fueled his growing paranoia. As the clock struck midnight, the couple finally escaped to their private suite. Laila, radiant and joyful, had no idea of the storm that was brewing within Noah. She eagerly anticipated their first night together as husband and wife. Noah, on the other hand, was lost in a whirlwind of dark thoughts. This is the moment I've waited for, he thought. But why can't I shake this feeling? The couple began to kiss passionately, but Noah's mind was clouded by jealousy. A sudden anger surged within him as he thought about Laila's interactions with Adam. Does she really love me? Or is she just playing a part? He wondered, his heart racing with insecurity. Laila, I love you, Noah whispered, trying to quell the turmoil within. But as she smiled back, his mind twisted the moment, turning love into obsession. Suddenly, a dark thought crossed Noah's mind. What if I can't have her? In a moment of madness, fueled by jealousy and anger, he lost control. I can't let her go, he thought, eyes narrowing as a plan formed. Laila sensed a shift in Noah's demeanor but dismissed it. It's just nerves, she told herself, attempting to calm her racing heart. Little did she know, her love was about to turn into a nightmare. So Noah's emotions spiraled as he pushed Laila against the wall, his earlier tenderness replaced by rage. So you think you can just flirt with anyone, don't you? He yelled, his voice a mix of love and anger. Laila's eyes widened in shock. What are you talking about? She gasped, confusion washing over her. Don't play innocent with me. I saw you. Noah shouted, the darkness consuming him. Laila's heart raced as she tried to reason with him. Noah, please, I love you. You're my husband. But the words fell on deaf ears. In a moment of sheer madness, Noah's anger reached a boiling point. He grabbed a nearby object, a glass vase, and swung it toward Laila. Time seemed to freeze as she realized what was happening. The vase shattered against the wall, but Laila's heart shattered even more at the sight of Noah's fury. Noah, please stop, she cried, instinctively backing away. But her plea only fueled his rage. And you think you can just walk away from me? No one else will have you. He screamed, lost in his own twisted reality. Laila fought back, trying to escape his grasp. But Noah was too strong, too far gone in his jealousy. I will not let you go, he yelled, tears streaming down his face. In a fit of desperation, he pushed her down onto the floor, the weight of his actions crashing down upon her. Noah, I love you, Laila begged, tears flowing freely. But the man she loved had transformed into a stranger consumed by rage. You made me do this, he shouted, his voice echoing in the room. After the incident, the night took a horrific turn. Laila lay on the floor, battered and bruised, her dreams shattered. Noah, now realizing the gravity of his actions, panicked. "What have I done?" he whispered, staring at the destruction he had wrought. His heart raced as he fled the scene, leaving Laila alone in a pool of sorrow. As the night wore on, the once celebratory atmosphere was replaced by an unbearable silence. In the aftermath, Laila was discovered by family members who heard her cries. Emergency services rushed her to the hospital where she fought for her life. The once joyful wedding night had transformed into a nightmare. In the sterile hospital room, Laila's family gathered around her, praying for her recovery. The love they once felt during the wedding was now tinged with fear and uncertainty. "Please, God, don't take her from us," her mother sobbed, clutching Laila's hand tightly. As Laila fought to survive, the police launched an investigation into the events of that fateful night. Noah was apprehended, his world collapsing around him. "I never meant to hurt her," he pleaded, tears streaming down his face. But the truth was undeniable. Jealousy had consumed him, turning love into violence. In the following days, Laila began her slow recovery. Surrounded by family, she fought to reclaim her life. But the scars, both physical and emotional, remained. "How could he do this to me?" she wondered, heartbroken and bewildered. With Noah in custody, the legal battle began. Laila's family pressed charges, determined to seek justice for the violence she had endured. The trial loomed ahead, filled with uncertainty and fear. As the courtroom doors swung open, Laila's heart raced. She would have to face Noah again, the man she once loved, now a symbol of her pain. "This is for all of us," she reminded herself, gathering the strength to speak her truth. During the trial, Laila took the stand, recounting the horrific events of that night. The prosecutor painted a picture of a man consumed by jealousy and rage, while Noah's defense tried to portray him as a victim of circumstance. As Laila spoke, she could feel the weight of the eyes on her, judging, speculating. "I loved him," she said, tears streaming down her face. "I don't understand how this happened." The courtroom was silent, and Laila could see the disbelief etched on the jurors' faces. How could someone go from loving to violent in a matter of hours? Laila's heart pounded as she caught sight of Noah across the courtroom. He looked different, hollow, defeated, but there was still a flicker of anger in his eyes that sent chills down her spine. She had hoped that he would feel remorse, but instead, he stared back at her with an expression that was hauntingly familiar. "I never wanted it to end this way," she murmured, barely loud enough for herself to hear. The trial dragged on, filled with testimonies from friends, family, and experts who tried to explain the unexpected violence that had erupted on what should have been a joyful night. After days of deliberation, the jury returned with their verdict. Laila sat in the courtroom, anxiety coursing through her. The judge called for silence, and everyone leaned forward in anticipation. "Guilty of attempted murder," the judge announced, and gasps filled the room. Laila's heart raced as she felt a mix of relief and disbelief. Noah's face contorted in anger, but the shackles of the law had finally bound him. In the weeks following the trial, Laila found herself in a whirlwind of emotions. She was grateful to be alive, but felt lost in a world that seemed to have changed overnight. Friends and family rallied around her, providing the support she desperately needed to heal. She attended therapy sessions, slowly unpacking the trauma of her wedding night. Each session was a step toward recovery, but the pain of that night lingered in her mind. How could this happen? She often asked herself. The love she once felt for Noah was now replaced with a deep sense of betrayal. Even as Laila began to rebuild her life, she struggled with anxiety. The memories haunted her, and she found it difficult to feel safe. Everyday tasks became monumental challenges. She often looked over her shoulder, expecting to see Noah lurking behind her. "Why can't I just move on?" she questioned during one of her therapy sessions, her voice cracking with emotion. Her therapist reminded her that healing was a journey, not a destination. Months turned into a year, And slowly, Laila began to regain a sense of normalcy. She focused on her passions, taking art classes and volunteering at local shelters. So with each step, she reclaimed pieces of herself she thought had been lost forever. Art became her therapy, a way to express her pain and triumph. Each stroke of the brush helped her process the trauma, transforming her suffering into something beautiful. Laila learned to embrace her story, using it as fuel for her creativity. Through her journey of healing, Laila found a supportive community. She met other survivors, individuals who had also faced unimaginable horrors. Together, they formed a bond, supporting each other in ways words could not express. "We're in this together," one survivor told her during a group session, and Laila felt a flicker of hope ignite within her. "We will rise above this." As Laila continued to heal, she began to share her story publicly. She spoke at events, using her experiences to raise awareness about domestic violence. "If my story can help even one person, it's worth it," she declared passionately, her voice steady and filled with conviction. Each time she shared her journey, she felt a little more empowered. The shame and fear that had once consumed her began to fade, replaced by a sense of purpose. In time, Laila met Ethan, a kind and gentle soul who understood her struggles. Their relationship blossomed slowly, built on trust and understanding. "I'm not ready for a relationship yet," Laila confessed during their early conversations. Ethan respected her boundaries, never pushing her beyond what she could handle. "You don't have to rush," he assured her, his eyes filled with patience. Laila felt grateful for his understanding, allowing her to navigate her healing at her own pace. As they spent time together, Laila found herself opening up again. Ethan listened intently as she shared her story, never judging but always offering support. "You're so brave for sharing," he said one evening, his voice soft and sincere. Laila felt a warmth spread through her chest, appreciating his kindness. "Thank you," she replied, a small smile breaking through her anxiety. "It's been a journey, but I'm learning to embrace it." Ethan's presence became a source of comfort for Laila. They enjoyed quiet evenings, exploring art galleries, and engaging in deep conversations that soothed her soul. "I never thought I could feel this way again," she admitted, her heart gradually opening up. "Your past doesn't define you," Ethan reminded her gently. "It's a part of your story, but it doesn't have to dictate your future." As Laila and Ethan's relationship deepened, she found the strength to confront her fears. She began attending events and gatherings without hesitation, feeling a sense of liberation she hadn't experienced in years. "Look at you," thriving Aisha remarked one evening, beaming with pride. "You've come so far." Laila, her friend's words, fueled her determination to continue healing and living fully. Laila also channeled her pain into advocacy, speaking out against domestic violence. She partnered with local organizations, sharing her story to raise awareness and empower others. "No one deserves to live in fear," she proclaimed during a community event, her voice strong and unwavering. The impact of her words resonated with the audience, sparking conversations about change and support systems. Laila felt fulfilled, knowing her experiences could help others reclaim their lives. One day, while volunteering, Laila received a heartfelt letter from a young woman who had also survived domestic violence. "Your story saved my life," the letter read, tears streaming down Laila's face as she read each word. The power of her journey came full circle, reinforcing her belief in the importance of sharing her truth. "This is why I do it," Laila whispered, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. In the years that followed, Laila continued to grow, both personally and professionally. She launched her own art studio, where she combined her passion for art with healing workshops for survivors. Art is a powerful form of therapy, she often shared with her participants. With each session, Laila witnessed the transformation in others as they discovered their own strength through creativity. The studio became a sanctuary, a place where healing and self-expression intertwined. As the anniversary of her wedding approached, Laila reflected on her journey. The pain of that night would always be a part of her story, but she no longer let it define her. "I've come so far," she told Ethan one evening, sitting in their garden under a starlit sky. He took her hand, his grip warm and reassuring. "You're incredible, Laila. Your strength inspires me every day." With Ethan's support, Laila organized an art show dedicated to survivors of domestic violence. The event showcased not only her work but also pieces created by other survivors, highlighting their resilience and creativity. "This is a celebration of our strength," Laila announced at the opening night, surrounded by an audience of supporters. The gallery buzzed with energy, and the art spoke volumes, telling stories of survival and hope. As Laila gazed at the artwork around her, she felt a profound sense of belonging. The walls echoed with laughter and conversation, reminding her of how far she had come. "This is my new beginning," she thought, tears of joy filling her eyes. In that moment, Laila knew she had transformed her pain into purpose. She was a survivor, an artist, and a beacon of hope for others. Years later, Laila stood at the edge of a new beginning, ready to embrace the life she had fought so hard to build. With Ethan by her side, she looked toward the horizon, filled with dreams of a future unburdened by her past. "I'm excited for what's to come," she said, beaming with hope. "The best is yet to be written." As they walked hand in hand, Laila knew she had turned her tragedy into triumph. She was a survivor, a warrior, and above all, she was ready to live. The story of Laila is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. From the horror of a wedding night turned nightmare to the beauty of finding hope and purpose, Laila's journey reflects the strength that lies within us all. Through art, advocacy, and the support of loved ones, she rose from the ashes of her past, ready to embrace a future filled with possibility.